Welcome back to the Pig Trail Show and to our Arkansas football recruiting report. We're joined by Otis Kirk right after the holiday. Otis, how was your weekend? How was your Christmas?
It stunk, man. Lakers lost, so it stunk. I gauge my life around that, man. And
Oh,
it stinks pretty bad lately.
glad we have the holiday cheer. All right, well, let's get into the little brighter notes here. Arkansas football has done amazing on the recruiting trail. Usually we talk
Yeah,
about recruits and specific players. Today we're really going to focus in on the logistics of
right.
Arkansas, what they need, what they have, how well they've done. So let's start with the first one. Um, Arkansas, you said, have 6 spots left for the class of 2022. What are the priorities for Sam Pittman and company for those remaining 6 spots?
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a real heavy dose of defense, Nick. Probably defensive backs would be a high priority. I know it is. Uh, Depending on if Bumper Pool comes back or not, you're definitely going after a linebacker. If he doesn't come back, I think there's a good chance they might go if they can find the right linebacker. I think they would go after one even if he came back. And then on the defensive line, somebody, whether it's an end or an interior player, somebody that can rush the quarterback. But probably two defensive backs, probably two are there. And then if they go offense after getting Jaden at wide receiver, I think now that it would be if they found someone at left tackle, a tackle who could come in and take Myron Cunningham's place. But they've got some good young players there on campus that can do that too. But I think if they could find an older player at left tackle or even a younger player, somebody they really like they did Tykees Crawford last year. He wasn't the older player, but he's somebody that can come in, plug into the system. So I think that they could all, Sam, if there's an offensive lineman out there that's great and Sam has a chance, Sam, he's the head coach, where he said, oh, yeah, we got to go for that one, he likes those offensive linemen, but no, seriously, I think that would be the one position. Right? If they win a second position on offense, let's assume that they're not going after a quarterback now, because that's that. Last week, I could have told you they're not going after a quarterback. Now with the one injured, it's possible, but I still don't see that happening because I think what you could do, and I specifically asked Sam about this press. I think you could plug Landon Rogers in as the fourth
Yeah,
string.
I remember you asking that.
And not just take him away from wide receiver or tight end, but let him practice our 2 or 3 periods, maybe a day, a week or something, and just be, I mean, you're talking about 4th string. So you've got 3 quarterbacks. And I know they're on some really good ones in 2023. They don't want to take a quarterback and mess anything up for 2023. But barring one of these guys transferring, which right now I don't see that being a possibility. I think you'll see them probably just not take a quarterback.
Yeah, and I
But
think
that could change.
I think Pittman answered your question by saying, heck, the defense even wants Landon Rogers. He seems like
Right,
an
right.
in-demand guy.
Landon Rogers was a very good quarterback in high school, but I could see where everybody wants him because this kid's 6'4", 6'5", big. I mean, he's got to put on weight, but I'm just saying he's got the frame to do that. And you're not talking about a kid 6'1", you're talking about a kid 6'4", 6'5", and can put on the weight. And so, yeah, I can see why everybody wants him. I mean, I can see why Guyton and Loggins and Odom are all wanting him. It makes sense. The guy's a great athlete.
Yeah, he stands out in the young kids just in front of everyone in the Razorbacks. You look at him, you're like, that's a true athlete right there. And so we'll see where his path leads up. Now, here's something. I was reading your article on our website earlier this morning, and the stat jumped off the board to me is that when Arkansas gets people to visit, they get them to sign. You had 30 official visits, and you said 21 of them signed to Arkansas. That's impressive.
21 signed. The only kid that signed who didn't take a visit was the Max Fletcher, the punter. He's from Australia, so that makes sense that he didn't take an official visit here that I'm aware of. But now they still have Miles Rouser is still considered a commitment to them. He's on that list of visits, and they're still recruiting Gentry Williams, which I think Gentry will go to OU. But I'm just saying, there's a chance that they could even get more than 21 of those 30. And so, yeah, I mean, that goes back to what Sam, this has been said here, oh man, back before. I mean, ever since I've been up here in '97, every coach has said if we get them on campus, it gives us a chance to get them, because people think of Arkansas one way, then they get here and they see how much better the facilities are. And that's really true now. That got true. Oh, Bobby Petrino was here, and then when Bobby left, Brett come in. The facilities are at that. What I'm talking about that period of time is when the facilities really started getting improved, and it's amazing over there now. And when the kids see that, they see that it's not just, everybody's not barefoot. The stadium's not propped up with sticks and stuff. And you got flashlights for the game lights. I mean, they see, oh, that's not the case. So it's impressive.
Yeah, 31 out of or 21 out of 30 players. You could get a few more, like you said. They've signed 22, but that's an incredible number. And that speaks to
Exactly.
say it, do what you say. That's exactly what Sam Pittman has done. That's a huge number. We'll see if there's any more. And he also emphasized, and I know you asked him about this in the press conference as well, is kind of like a farm system, right? Is we've seen some great Arkansas players start from a walk-on position and become great. Grant Morgan comes to mind. And that is something that Pittman wants to continue, is building a program that could potentially involve strong presence of walk-on players.
Yeah, Simeon Blair, Hayden Henry, Grant Morgan. They got those three linebackers they got over there, probably as good a college trio of linebackers as there is in the nation, Nick. Now there may be schools with better pro prospects, but for that linebacker room is exactly what Sam Pittman can use as a model for what the walk-on program can do here. Hayden Henry came without a scholarship the first semester. Grant Morgan came strictly as walk-on, and look what they blossomed into. Simeon Blair at safety. You go back, you go all the way around at other positions, Tyson Morris at wide receiver. I mean, we can do this. You can do this quite a while. And Ethan Joseph from Georgia has committed to walk on here, linebacker. It was going to sign with the Air Force. He switched to Arkansas. Mason Sheck from Pulaski Academy is a linebacker who's coming here. Played really well in the state championship game. And then you just got you got Hunter Talley out at Siloam, who played quarterback, put up some big numbers out there at Siloam. He's going to be a tight end here. He's about 6'4", 6'5", got really good speed and got good hands. He worked at tight end at camp up here, and so you've got some walk-ons, and there's more, and then there's some players out there that they're still recruiting in that regard to walk on, and those are basically, those are freebies for the University of Arkansas. I mean, you don't have to use a scholarship right now, and then when they prove themselves or however you want to look at that, then they can be awarded a scholarship. And it's a great offer. It's a great deal. And Sam went into detail about how now they can offer academic scholarship. There's money for the walk-ons now. That's not like it used to be, where you come up here and you walk on and you pay your own way the whole time. I mean, hey, look at Nathan Perotti, punt returner.
Look at that.
Third team All SEC, Nick, and he's a walk-on. He's going to get a scholarship at midterm, of course, for his last semester on campus. But I mean, that's been the history of Arkansas. It's everybody. We always think about Brandon Burlsworth, but there's been notable walk-ons that have come through this program, and I mean, they help the program immensely, and Sam's going to continue to use that and maybe expand on it some. Once you get this, one thing that's hurt the walk-on numbers some is the super seniors, the COVID year.
Yeah.
Everybody is getting an extra year, Nick, that wants it, that was here when the COVID hit. And so that's kind of took away from some of the numbers that you would probably see more walk-on. But it's a win-win for everybody. I mean, the kids are still getting chances, and what it has allowed Arkansas to do, and Sam talked about this the other day, it's allowed them to be very selective in that market, in the walk-on market.
And I know he also said, I believe we owe it to the kids of Arkansas, the players of Arkansas, to make a few more of those guys walk-ons as well, and prioritize that some of our talent has to come from the natural state, and especially with the walk-on program. I know he was talking about that as well.
Yeah, he did.
Hey, you got to take care of your branches at home as well. All right, Otis, we've been talking a lot about numbers. I got another number you threw at me today, and that's 18 recruits enrolling at the midterm, getting these kids in a little early,
That's
allowing them
unheard
to adjust. How big is that you have that number, 18 people coming in at the midterm?
Well, one thing, you've got to have 18 scholarships available at that point, and with all the super seniors leaving and stuff, Arkansas can do that. But this is a number you'll probably never see it approach 18 again at midterm, but that's unheard of. And I mean, that's amazing. And you've got Isaiah Sigtegna, Sam Bakke, Patrick Kudus, and then Nico Deville from Montmel. Those are the four not coming in at midterm. Everybody else is coming in at midterm. So you've got receivers, linemen, running backs, both running backs, all three high school linebackers are coming in at midterm. That's big too, Nick, because they got a chance to play there next year. I mean, they're losing numbers there at linebacker, but no, I think 18 kids. Considering that used to there'd be, if you could get 3 or 4 kids in a midterm, and I'm not talking about 100 years ago, I'm talking about in the not so far distant past. If you could get 3 or 4 kids to come in midterm, Sam will tell you this. I think he talked about this the other day. It hasn't been that long ago. If you could get 3 or 4 kids to come in midterm or 5, you thought you were really doing something, and you were. But now 18, I mean, that's almost another football team.
Yeah,
to play
you can
with.
almost start offense and defense
you
with
got
that.
22 kids, you got 18 coming in. So, I mean, you're talking about almost a complete depth chart there. So, I mean, no, I mean, it's huge for Arkansas. And it may be the most they ever get, considering that there won't be years that they have as many super seniors as they did this year who are leaving. But no, it's big. It gets them on campus. It gives them a chance to get a semester under them academically and athletically and academically, Nick. People forget about that too. If you come in at midterm, you've got your spring semester and your 2 summer schools. By the time the first season rolls around, you're almost completed one year. You know what I'm saying? With 2 summer classes or 2 summer semesters and the spring semester. So you're way ahead of the game academically, and that takes some of the pressure off of you. You can take, you don't have to load up that first semester in college because you've already taken care of that back in the spring. Mm-hmm. You can go out there and play and have your classes, and you can fix it where you don't have to just be bogged down the first semester, being away from home, taking hard classes, playing football, and you find out you're not the star that you were in high school when you got there, and you go against these SEC teams. They'll let you know that real quick when you got there, block somebody and they're by you before you get out of your stance. You'll find out. But no, seriously, no, it's a big for those kids. It's huge for those kids.
Yeah, getting a step forward, getting a little bit ahead of the game, playbooks, getting your head in the playbook early. I know that there's been a couple of high schoolers practicing with Arkansas this past week as they prepare for the bowl game. Huge for those kids as well. Otis, that wraps it up for us in this Arkansas football recruiting report. Thank you so much for telling us about all the logistics of what the Hogs need, what we're looking at, who's coming in the future. We got more Pig Trail Show coming up after the break.
See you in Tampa, man.
See you, Otis.